everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be telling you just which mob I'm going to be voting for and why in the mob vote. So yeah, intro over, let's get into it. So, first I'm going to go through all of the mobs, and then I'm going to tell you which one I'm going to vote for. So, basically, the first mob, basically everyone knows about this one because it was the first one to be introduced. This is the glare. You see the glare? It's the F7 key, or the F3 key, whichever one it is. On Bedrock Edition, it is useless. It's supposed to get angry when there's a dark spot nearby, but the thing is that there's not going to be a dark spot nearby unless you're in a cave, of which then you're going to know that there's a dark spot nearby. And you see, this is because mobs are only going to be able to spawn in light level 0. So yeah, the glare is useless. Well, now you see. Then there is the, what's it called? Oh yes, the Allay. Well, it's beta hopper. It likes to pick things up when you give it to them. And people like it because automation, but it's not actually automation, so I don't really get that. But it's basically a living hopper. Yeah. Okay, and now the Copper Golem. The Copper Golem likes to push many copper buttons, specifically copper. And then it oxidizes over time. I'm assuming you'll be able to wax it or use an axe on it so that to scrape off the rust or whatever. So yeah. So I'm going to be voting for the Copper Golem, and the community is more between the Allay or the Copper Golem, but I'm going to be voting for the Copper Golem because, like I said, the Allay is just a beta hopper that has wings, okay? Because people think, oh yeah, this is great for automation, and while it would be good for automation early game, you're not going to need automation early game. You won't need it because you're not going to have 3-mile-long farms. And even then, you'll still have to manually, may I add, go up to them and give them the seeds or something for them to bring all that back. So, yeah, it's not really all that useful. The Copper Golem, on the other hand, I'm going to just skip the glare because we all know the glare is basically useless. The Copper Golem works for literally everyone. And I'm pretty sure in one of their videos, Minecraft has even said, or at least Mojang has even said, that they always have an update that appeals to literally everyone. So now, think about all the different types of people and just see just who the Copper Golem fits for. So the Copper Golem is, in my opinion, probably going to work for literally everyone. And now let's first start off with the builders. It's going to work for the builders because copper buttons are going to come with it. And, that's obviously going to be very good for the builders. And when it oxidizes, it basically turns into a statue. So that's, yeah, it's a statue. So, of course, builders are going to use it. Of course, I know builders can already make statues, but it's an easier statue for the less experienced builders. And also, it's tiny, so even the more experienced builders can have a tiny statue instead of making a massive structure. Now, anyways, for redstone people, it's also good because it likes to push said copper buttons. People seem to forget that it's copper buttons specifically. They think that they're going to ruin all your redstone contraptions and have to go off all the time. But they seem to forget that it's copper buttons specifically. I don't understand that. But basically, it's going to push copper buttons, which is good for automating tasks that you could not automate before. just attach a button to the end of it. Now it's also a good randomizer. Okay, look, there's a good randomizer. I know chickens on pressure plates has always been good, but it's an easier randomizer. It's reusable because you see, the way that the chicken randomizers work is you have a chicken in a container up top, you take away the floor and it flies down to a spot where there's like a couple pressure plates, and it either stands on one of the two or four pressure plates. That could take a while sometimes, and even then, afterwards you have to manually lure it back into the container. Copper Golem, you don't need to do that. Instead, you could just simply put up walls. That's it. That's all you have to do. So yeah. Yep. Now, anyways, it's good for builders and redstone people. What about survival and hardcore? Well, it's more of a quality of life thing. Because if you're just survival or hardcore, it really depends. You could try to build a massive structure or make a good old redstone build. It doesn't really. What you do in survival kind of depends on if you're a builder or a redstoner or something like that. But if we're just saying that you're neither and just want to live, it's more of a quality of life thing. You have it pushes the button, it opens the iron door for you, and you can go inside. It's quality of life, you know. It's kind of like having a servant in real life, but let's not really think about that, shall we? Now, anyways, PvPers, okay, so look, this is like the one thing that it doesn't appeal to. PvPers, there's nothing that it's good for in PvP, unless it likes to attack people, just does less damage and less knockback than an iron golem. Then, I mean, yeah, it could be useful for PvPers, but we don't know that yet. So, we might as well assume not. So, yeah. I mean, it would also be good for challenges, just like whose Copper Golem can lead you through the door the fastest or something. But it would be very RNG dependent. So, yeah. That's what I say. And I'm going to be voting for the Copper Golem. I really hope it wins. And Dream, Mr. Dream Man does not rig the vote. I really hope not. So, yeah. Goodbye, everyone.